absolutely gonna say good night to my friend Aaron Joy Kreiko. How are you doing?
I am just fantastic tonight. I am ready to rock to talk all things self-worth
Awesome,
and just happy to be here with you tonight.
awesome. So you know what? Last week we didn't. Last week we had a fantastic show. And I know a lot of people are actually looking forward to hear from you again today. So you know what? The floor is yours, my friend. Introduce yourself, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. So I am Erin. I'm a self-love and divorce recovery coach, and I help women and men become the heroes and heroines of their own epic love story. So today we are talking about self-worth because it was a request by a listener last week.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that I actually have done a lot of work on, and it is not the easiest thing to develop if you've kind of lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because self-worth is really developed within the core of ourselves. It's our thoughts, it's our feelings, and it's our behaviors. And all of these things are wrapped up in a bow and represent how we view our worthiness as human beings. So I don't know if you had this when you were younger, but talking to yourself was pretty faux pas,
Yeah.
and you were probably seen as
When I was
being crazy.
when I was younger, it's still happening right now. So I don't know what you.
But let's normalize talking to ourselves.
Mhm.
How about that?
Okay.
Because I honestly, I've been doing a lot of self work, and one of the things that has helped immensely is changing the way I speak to myself. And unfortunately, as adults, um, it we have built our identity by other people's opinions, by observing our friends and family, but through our experiences and through society's mile markers, which is career, marital status, um, and all of those great things. And we just when we were younger, we have been so ingrained in how we talk to ourselves, and we really have no idea what our normal voice sounds like.
Mhm.
And so it's all about being able to start talking to yourself and becoming your best friend.
I agree.
Yeah, so it is hard because we are so preconditioned to already think these certain ways about ourselves because that's just what we've always known, and it's what we've always been taught. So it's an active practice every day to say nice things to yourself. And unfortunately, we put a lot of shame on our experiences and our behaviors.
Mhm.
And this is where relationships kind of come into play, is that if we have been treated badly in a relationship, we almost always assume we're a bad person, or at least I have, and that I don't deserve a good relationship because that's all I've known.
Mhm.
And therefore, if that's all I've known, I'm either going to stay in this relationship because I think that I can't get anything else, or I'm going to keep attracting the same person because it's all I recognize. So in in trying to cultivate the words that you say to yourself, if you're trying to do that within a relationship or with something that may have been said or done, always know that you are a good person. And whatever happens outside of that has nothing to do with you, because the only person's opinion of yourself that matters is you.
Mhm.
Because the way you're perceiving the world and the way you're perceiving experiences, you have control over that. So you have control of how you feel about it, whether it's negative or positive, but you also have control over what action you take. So if you are in a relationship and you are feeling sad and you're feeling like you don't have a choice, you always have a choice. Whether that is calling up a friend and saying, hey, I need some help, or making the decision to leave, all of these things are actions.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that is going to keep you in your own misery is you. So being able to take those actions and unlearning our previous behaviors. So being able, like I said, to recognize when you're saying, I'm bad, I'm, slutty for dating all these guys, I'm a horrible person because I said this thing. But really, in the core of yourself, you are a good person. You just made a mistake. And you shouldn't condemn yourself and shame yourself for it. It's about how you act after it. We're all human. We all make mistakes. And I think it's also good to see that, if you're in a relationship or if you're just starting out into dating and someone, maybe says something or messes up, it's being able to have compassion for that person because they're a real person too. So what you do have to look at is the behaviors that happen after it, and if they are consecutive. If they're not actually learning from those behaviors and they continue to do it even after you've said something, then I would take a look at that and really assess, are these types of qualities the qualities I want in a relationship? And then in terms of helping develop your relationship with yourself is accepting where you're at and what it is you're doing and making changes to the words that you're speaking. So one of the things that I like to do, and I actually have recorded a positive affirmation for anyone who wants it. So you can contact me after the show. But basically, I have recorded myself speaking to myself with kind words and loving words that actually empower me. So I will listen to this on a walk, and it sounds very cheesy, but it works. Where I say, I love you. You're a good person. You're doing great things in the world. You're beautiful. All of these things that, that you want to embody, if you're able to repeat them to yourself over and over again, you will actually start to believe it. And so when you're doing this consecutively, you're changing the way you think. You're going to change the way you do things as well, because you're going to start acting like this person. You're going to start acting like the good person that you want to be. And you're going to start attracting that person with those great habits. How are your habits?
My habits. I have a lot of habits. I have a lot of habits. Yeah.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
so when you're in a relationship, how do you feel about yourself in relation to someone else? Like, do you go into it having all the confidence in the world, or is that something that really builds up for you?
Confidence is always the key. I always have confidence.
Good for you.
I always go in with full head confidence, that I can do it. Whatever it is, if once I put my mind to it, that's the way how I set myself from a very young age because, growing up not having much, when you have it, you say, I want this, you really go for it. So basically when I go into a relationship, I go in with confidence and, and with hope too, because, and nothing's
Yeah.
you go with confidence may not swing the way you want it, but at least I know when I go there as myself. And if that doesn't work, well, so be it. Someday I would find someone who would accept me for who I am.
Yes. And that is called self-worth. You have self-worth because you know that you have value and you're not willing to settle for anything less.
Mm-hmm. Very
And
true.
you've been able to kind of cultivate that within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go into I want to say abusive relationships, but that could be not necessarily just physical. It can be emotional. It can have to do with money. It can have to do with a multitude of different things. And within my relationship previously, I had let a previously defined belief that I had about money and math, because I hate math, and I let that dictate how I was in a relationship because I believed that I wasn't good at math. Therefore, I wasn't smart enough. Therefore, I'll just let my partner do all of the financial stuff. And so I let him take on that. But then also, that's reinforcing my belief that I'm not good enough. And he is also reinforcing that belief
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not good enough. And so, not being happy in that relationship, I didn't want to leave because I knew or I thought that if I left, I wouldn't be able to financially support myself, which is untrue. And so these are some of the things that, can affect us, especially if you are in a relationship that is abusive in some sort of way. You end up taking the perception that, well, I must not deserve a good relationship with someone speaking good things to me because I'm not good. And, I deserve, to get this abuse because that is something that either you have learned over time or you're just willing to accept about yourself in that relationship. So if you are in that situation, first of all, I heed you. I want you to go and get help. And this is where I'm saying action and starting to believe that you're worth it because everyone is worth it. And you should not be allowing someone else to define your worth because only you get to do that.
Yeah, true that. Very, very true.
And it's really also, unfortunately, when you're in that type of relationship where abuse has happened, whatever type of abuse that is, unfortunately, and it's happened to me where I lose trust in myself. I'm like, well, I can't trust myself. I clearly, you start doubting your abilities. You start doubting your strengths. You start doubting who you are. And if you're in a position like that, I would suggest if you are uncomfortable looking at the options to leave, start cultivating your self-worth within and going in and asking, okay, what am I really good at? Like you have to have something that you're good at. Are you good at making people laugh? Great. Are you good at drawing? Great. Start listing out those things and start repeating them to yourself
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to start to believe that, oh yeah, actually, I do have some really, really awesome friends. I must be a good person. I must be a really good friend because I am compassionate and I have, all these friends, or I'm a great cook. And start really building that because that's going to gain your confidence and you're going to start trusting yourself because one, you're going to believe that, let's say you can make a really good lasagna and then you actually do it and it tastes great, which means your actions are actually going together with your beliefs, which means that you're going to start to really embrace your truth and your intuition and, you know, really being able to trust yourself. So it's really about changing the narrative and change it. Literally, we have to go in and rewire because there is a lot of things within this society and world that are unconscious beliefs that we have not only within relationships, it's like within, you know, um, within ourselves, within like our communications with other people, it's in sexuality, it's in race, like all of these unconscious biases and our thinking have really clouded who we are. So if you're able to go within and start, cultivating that self-worth, asking questions and being like, why do I think that? Is that really true of myself or that person? What is true for me? And sit back and actually ask that question and listen, and your body will actually tell you. You'll feel a sense of relax. So I do have some statements that you can use to as a part of your new narrative within affirmations. But these are just good points to remind yourself of every day. So you no longer need to please anyone else or seek validation from anyone else from their words or actions, because you perceive it. Only you do, and only you get to choose that. And no matter what people do or say, and regardless of what happens outside of you in an experience, you alone control your feelings. And you have the absolute power to react and respond the way that you want to, based on your internal resources that you have in with yourself and your, bodily intuition. And know that you're perfectly imperfect. And I think that's where people slip up, is that we've all got imperfections. We're all not perfect. We all have things that we need to work on. We're all a work in progress. And I think that's where you should feel empowered, is because you're not perfect. And that's what makes you unique.
I agree. But if
Yeah.
I think it's with people, as you said, with self confidence and stuff like that. I think that's one of the main things that people really need when it comes to relationships. In terms, even if they're in a relationship or trying to get out of a relationship, they have to have the confidence to know that if they're getting out, they're doing it for the right reasons, or if they're getting into one, they're doing it for the right reasons. Be confident about themselves and who they are. It's better easy said than done, but I realize but growing up, and that's the only way you can be in life, is be confident with yourself. And I think things would work itself out in the end. I have a question here
Yeah.
from Veronica. She's asking you, what about compromising? She said,
What about compromising, Victoria?
and, what if, she said that you were saying earlier about a situation with, you find who you're looking for, and said, what
Mm-hmm.
if this person, you found this person who doesn't have everything, but you're comfortable enough, and the feelings is still there, strong, but they know that.
Go for it.
Go for it, Veronica.
Go for it, Veronica. Honestly, yeah. This is kind of like what I was saying, is that no one's perfect. No one is going to be perfect. No one is going to show up on your doorstep in a big red bow and say, "Here I am. I'm your partner." We all have little things that we need to work on, and that's the beautiful part about relationships, is that you can work on these things together. Now, I don't know what this person, these things that you're questioning, but if there's things that, if they're not involved in your value, if your values are aligned and you have the same goal and vision for your lives, and you want to support and help each other grow, and you have that physical attraction, if it's like one of his eyebrows is smaller than the other, I don't think that's a great compromise, or thing to not date someone. And I mean, I understand that sometimes physical attraction is important, but I do think that if you're intrigued by this person, if you want to learn more, if you want to pursue it, just go. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Because again, it's only you who you have the choice.
Yeah, I agree. So, what advice would you give to, let's say, someone who is in a relationship? They are settling, but want to get out.
Get out.
What?
The
Okay.
fact that they know that they're settled, do they know they're settling?
Yeah. They do.
Then get out.
They didn't want me to
There
call.
is, pardon?
They didn't want me to call any names, so that's why I just let it.
No, and don't call any names, but I honestly, if you know you're settling, and I trust me, I was there and I was in it for 8 years. If you know you're settling,
That's a long time to settle.
right? I mean, I didn't settle for the entire 8 years, but side story. If you know you're settling,
Mhm.
why wait? Every day that you sit in this relationship humming and hawing about, it's not fulfilling you is another day wasted where you could be fulfilling yourself or fulfilling the partner,
Mhm.
finding another partner that actually makes you like excited. And I don't know the situation of your settledness, but if it's something that you've been trying to work on and nothing seems to work, and it's just like, I don't feel this is for me, and you know it in your bones, I would leave. I would leave.
And see, I respect what you're saying. I really do, and I know a lot of people do as well, including Amanda. Amanda Duncan said on air, I think it was the last show, that how you helped her
I
with
did.
through her problems and her issues. She said that you changed her life, and my question to you: how do you feel when people like Joanne in their situation, sorry, Amanda, sorry, in her situation, come to you and you're able to help them, and then they'll be able to come back to you and say, Aaron, thank you. How does that make you feel?
Like I'm doing everything that I wanted to do in my life. It makes me tear up a little bit, but this is what I quit my corporate job for.
Mm.
This is what I do. I want to help people and I want to give them the best life possible.
So,
And that is getting out of a relationship that you feel like you're settling. Don't settle. Like don't.
so,
Um,
so say someone wants to come to you personally for advice, give them information on how to reach you, business, stuff like that.
Yeah. So basically, if you're interested in working with me, we would set up a free call. It's basically like call your girlfriend or guy friend, you just having a chat
Mhm.
and see if we mesh together. And if, I do ask some pretty deep questions, so be ready for that, but it's nothing to be scared of. I like to really get to know my clients and know how they tick. And I want to know their truest desires and what they want out of life and what they want out of a partner and what they want out of themselves because life is too short
So these
to
questions,
settle in a
questions are
life.
standard
Sorry.
questions, or these questions would be questions that you would create according to the client.
It would be according to the client. So what happens is that have you fill out an intake form, which is asking some basic questions about what you're looking for, blah, blah, blah. And then we would do a deeper dive
Okay.
when we go into the session and really just get to know it. Like there's laughing, there's some crying, but it's like a happy cry and like, you know,
Okay. And as I say, and this is something that you said you doing full time to help the people who really needs the help. So if they want to reach you, Aaron, how would they reach you? Is there I want to tell them your email address, if you have a number, website, just give them all the information that's needed.
oh, I will give you all the things. So my website is www.thejoytribeco.ca. You can find me on Facebook and Insta. So that's at the Joy Tribe Co. And if you want to email me, it's info@thejoytribeco.ca.
Okay. And can they also email you if they with their question or anything like that from
100%.
Okay, so repeat that email one more time.
Yep. So it's info, so info at thejoytribeco.ca. So thejoytribe.ca.
There you go.
Oh my God.
She never said.
Clearly, I have been. It's been a long time since I've been to school.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that people. She didn't say she's a teacher or spelling expert. So I just letting you know in case.
No.
Spelling in there.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. She says she haven't been.
If you want me to do a math question, you can forget about it.
This is why we have autocorrect.
True.
For sure. So, Aaron, man, I want to thank you very much for doing this again. But next week, there is a question here about next week. This lady, her name is Malvo. She wants to find out about obsession. She wants to wonder if you can obsession next week. You able to?
Okay.
That's obsession.
Yeah, I mean, we can totally talk about like attachments and having obsessions with people. Okay. Like, I will explore that topic.
Yeah.
And we will see where that turns out. Like, I don't know, maybe it'll turn out kind of off the cuff. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it seems like Malvo, she really wants your opinion on obsession. So next week, Malvo, she will be back. Erin will be here for the Joy Tribe Coach. She will be here next week to give you all her opinion and her information, what she thinks, about obsession.
Right, it happens.
It happens, yeah. So thank you very much, Erin. We do this next week, same time, same place, same station. You enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you so much, guys, and look forward to next week.
Have a fantastic
Bye.